Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this MMM session tonight. I'm really happy to be here today with all of you, and it's the 23rd MMM that we are having together. And let me introduce myself shortly. Maybe many of you know me already because I'm part of MMM team. My name is Patrizia Olivero Cashbonmeyer, and I live actually in Italy with my husband, Franz Cashbonmeyer. We are working for BFD for some time already, many years though, and I'm very happy tonight to have all of you that I call in my heart my blessed community. And tonight, just some guidance to drive in the program. There will be a translation in Russian done by our dear sister Galina Chernomote. I'm sorry, I pronounced it really wrong. And you can see in the slide how to assess. You can assess it by clicking on the globe button and then selecting the language from your computer, from mobile. You can click on the three dots and then select the interpretation in order to hear the translator more clearly. You can also select mute original audio. I really thank you, Galina, for providing the Russian translation. It's such a wonderful blessing for brothers and sisters to have the MMN translations. And I also wanted to remind, please make sure that your Zoom username says your real name and surname in Latin alphabet. The same ones you use for the registration at MMM. This will help us to know who is in the program and will mostly help our technician Victor to make the discussion groups later on. So I really thank you to do that. And here is how you can rename yourself. Either you right-click on your thumbnail or you find your name at the top of the list of participants and find the option to rename yourself. I hope you could understand, and I'm sorry for my English is not my native language. And if you have any technical issue, please write to our wonderful host, Andy. You can find it on the chat and send a direct message to him. Now, I'd like to actually invite Andy that is gonna open the prayer for all of us and the evening with thanks to God. Thank you, Andy.
Please join me in prayer. Good evening, dearest Heavenly Parent. I want to thank you for this time that we have here now. I want to invite you to this meeting today. The topic of today is focused on intimacy, a topic that is so dear to your heart, so dear to all the blessed couples joining, and you've been wanting to be part of our lives for so long without success. And we know that intimacy is a very delicate topic with many emotions attached, with a lot of potential for pain and hurt. But we are here to hear our dear siblings, uncle and auntie David and Mitsue share their experience and also share some words from true parents on intimacy, that when we share with our loved ones and our community and our friends, that you can really be at the center of the relationship, that at the center, that you can really be at the center of every individual couple and their life together as intimate partners. And we are really grateful that you are here with us tonight, that we want that you can really be happy joining us, that we can create a good environment here where we can all feel safe to share with each other, even when it is such a delicate topic. We want you in our midst tonight, that you can be present and enjoy this event, that this can really be an event where you can thrive and be present, and we want to offer all of this to you and pray all of this in our names present here, and in our name, Francesca and Andreas, Gunde Cacielli, as a center-based couple, and you.
Thank you so much, Andy, for your really wonderful prayer. And just let me start with some words of introduction of what is MMM for maybe the newcomers. MMM is stays for Make the Most of Marriage, and is a BFD human initiative that aims to create a thriving community of fulfilled blessed couples. And this is really our passion. We aim to do this by offering a monthly online event for blessed couples to connect, share, and learn something new. And this has been always the way for me, at least. And it's always revolving around the topic of marriage, blessing, and family. And I just wanted to introduce the staff that is behind our program, that has been working for a long time already together. And as you can see from left to right, you can see the beautiful couple of Abigail and Victor, and then Andreas and Francesca Cirelli. They're really the core of this program. Daniel Lindstrom and his beautiful family, and myself and my husband, we were always caring for MMM. And finally, Orlande and her beautiful family. She is the MMM BFD director and human. And the format of this program is basically going through two important parts. There is a speaker, and there are, of course, question and answer if needed, and then a part dedicated to breakout groups where we can share more deeply whatever we have been learning. Tonight, as usual, we have a talk also from our speaker, and then exactly this Q&A, and we also have 5-minute breaks, and these 5 minutes will actually help us to consider what we just heard and to think what we want to share with our brothers and sisters. And in order to help us to create the best group discussion, how we split in our second part in a group discussion, we actually ask people to write clearly their name, and whenever they register, we know their situation. So we try to put the group together. A group is like 4-6 people, and we try our best to put them together as couples in similar circumstances. For example, newly blessed couples, or blessed couples with young children, blessed couple with adult children, so they can really share from their experience and from their heart. And this is actually made by, in accordance to the registration form. That is why it's important that you fill the registration form fully, so we can proceed in a best way. So now it's actually a wonderful moment, because it's the moment when I really want to introduce and spend a few words on the couple that we have here tonight, which are the wonderful couple coming from the US, David and Mitsue Wolfenberger. And David and Mitsue, beside being a blessed couple, blessed in 1982, they are amazing people, touring the world, spreading the word of God, and most of all, really talking a lot about intimacy and how we can reach the best in our life. They have 7 children, and they have been operating a crab business for 33 years, right? And 9 years ago, they started the BMP, Blessed Marriage Project, to help couples create deeper intimacy and better communication. In 2015, they launched iNoon, and I'm sure many of you know this project. I witnessed to them when they came to Milan, and I could spend wonderful days together and build our friendship. And I know naturally it's an amazing project, and it's addressing pornography epidemic in our UC community and throughout the world. Since then, they have made the decision to focus their time and resources toward helping young people to grow their sexual integrity and to help couples to create a radiant blessing. So today, they are gonna talk to us about intimacy. And I just want to remind you that during this talk, please write your question, whatever question comes to your mind, and I'm sure there are many around this topic, and send them to our dear host, Andy. And we will have a short Q&A at the end of the session. So without further ado, I just welcome up David and Mitsue. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Patrizia, and thank you, Andy. Yeah, I need to begin with a disclaimer. We are not marriage counselors. We are not church leaders. We don't have any theological background. We do travel the globe, like Patrizia said, just sharing about what we're most passionate about. So it comes pretty natural. And yeah, like, especially this right now, actually, you guys have caught us at a great time because we are about to we're getting ready to celebrate our 40th anniversary. It's amazing, really. We've been looking up on Google some of the videos from the 1982 Madison Square Garden event, and to see that sea of white gowns and dark suits. And we couldn't find ourselves in there. But we were there, weren't we? We were definitely there. And then, you know, seeing, we also saw a matching video from about that time, which we didn't see ourselves again, but we were there. And yeah, it is amazing to look back now. Patrizia too is about Patrizia and Franz are ready to celebrate their 40th anniversary. So I hope all of you get there. Yeah, and like Andy shared, intimacy, it can be a source of pain and trauma, and it can also be a source of greatest joy, deepest joy and happiness and connection with each other and connection with God. So I'm sure that we've all experienced both of those. If you are married, you've experienced both of those. And one thing that I think every couple experiences, you know, what do you do when sometimes you don't feel that attraction? I think that Heavenly Parent gave to us he gave to us our sexuality, and it was to be attracted to our mate. I think of it like the Frankenstein story that comes from your part of the world, I believe. And the scientist, Dr. Frankenstein puts a little bit of this potion in there to give like life to his new creation. And that's what I envision God did too, that he put this potion at the core of our being so that we would be attracted to our mate. I want to give you a hypothetical situation. This sister, we'll call Nicole. She works up the courage one evening to ask her husband something terrifying. Why don't we have sex anymore? And she knew that her body had changed during the pandemic. She had just had a baby, and right before the lockdown, months went by. Countless nights snuggling with her family, binging on cookies, watching TV. And now she was worried that she wasn't attractive to her husband. So what do we do when we're not feeling sexy or attractive to our spouse? And what do we do when our spouse doesn't feel that we're attracted to them? So we can't really do anything about our spouse. But it's common for older couples to experience this, and it can happen to anybody. Even young couples have been forced to spend a lot of time in the past couple of years at home. It's led to boredom, snacking, not going to the gym. Missy and I, we're in our late 60s. Okay, and I used to think that the most important thing to maintaining a good sex life was to keep in shape, to stay fit so that we can go through the rigors of sex and to impress Mitsue. And while we do make a lot of effort to stay healthy, we also have to accept our reality. Mitsue, David is never going to have a six-pack again.
You never had him. You never had him. So it's okay. Don't worry.
Yes, age also, it leads to forgetfulness. Okay. So anyway, while that may be true, that's true for most first gen. I think we find ourselves in a similar situation. We have more wrinkles. We're not as strong as we used to be. We might have put on some weight. For most women, their boobs begin to sag. Not Mitsue. When we're young, we may have thought of ourselves as being invincible. And we may have even thought of ourselves as having sex appeal. Nowadays, that's pretty unlikely. But what we find now that's really important isn't so much that everyone thinks that we're sexy. There's only one thing that matters. Does my wife or does my husband still think that I'm sexy? So Mitsue may be wondering, does David still feel that I'm sexy?
Okay.
Am I? Okay, so we saw a movie the other night called Still Mine, and it's about this couple, an older couple. They're in their late 80s, I think. And they've got this really strong attraction for each other, this powerful love. And Mitzi, she really does love those kind of movies. She looks forward to us. That's what she envisions us being when we get that old, and how we look together. I remember one time when we were visiting her parents, and they were both so bent over, and it was temple time. We were visiting temples, and when we first got married, and we went there with the kids, and they're just walking up the steps, both bent over, and I remember that image. And that is what Mitzi envisions us being someday. I hope we're not that bent over, but we may be. I think that we've learned what real beauty is. It's in the gray hair, the love handles, the wrinkles. And it's a beauty that's endured and grown stronger over the years. It's a beauty that just grows deeper and more precious. Mitzi, do you ever feel self-conscious about your body?
All the time.
Have you ever tried to turn off the lights, reach around the corner and turn off the lights right before you run to bed so I won't see you?
Yeah, it was like that when I was young. Of course, now it's a little better because I gave in. But I still feel self-conscious.
Yeah, Mitzi learned what Father said about going to bed naked, and she's followed that advice. I'm grateful for that. A lot of times we are our own harshest critics. I know of some couples that have a deathly fear of being naked in front of their spouse. One couple in particular, it was the woman said that she remembers coming out of the bathroom with just her panties on one night, and her husband had this look of disgust on his face. And she said that look was very, very painful for her. She never forgot that. And she vowed never to undress in front of him again. Husbands and wives, we are so vulnerable. We make ourselves so vulnerable with each other, more than we ever will with anybody else. So we have to be kind and sensitive and really sincerely love our spouse and remind our husband or wife about how beautiful they are and how you're still attracted to them. If that's hard for you, you can try to find 10 good points about your husband or wife. There's a joke about an old couple. This woman is lamenting to her husband, I'm so bent over. And the husband nods, and she says, my face is all wrinkly. Husband nods again. My hair is all gray now. Husband says, yes, but there's nothing wrong with your vision. And he went on to say, but you are more lovely today than the first day we met. And that's the kind of Father talks about true love being blind. That's the kind of blindness that we see in true love, the kind of blindness that looks beyond all of our inadequacies, all of our imperfections, and sees the real beauty in our soul. So if you're telling yourself, I'm overweight, I've got a lot of wrinkles, I will never be a fashion model, that may be true. But if you're telling yourself, I'm no longer pretty, I'm gross, how could anyone think that I'm beautiful? That's a lie, and you've got to get that lie out of your head. You are a daughter of God. You are a son of God, and you're beautiful just the way you are, just as you are. You might be feeling that it takes all my energy just to get up off the couch. How do I jumpstart my libido when I'm not feeling arousal? Are there times when we don't feel like making love its way?
Nowadays, more so than before.
Yeah, we might be too tired. Maybe we got some bad news. Things may not have turned out like we planned. A lack of desire for sex can happen when we're stressed, and more often now when we're tired. Let's see what Father says about this.
Do you have the PowerPoint there?
It's
okay.
Oh,
Okay.
got it. Good.
The wife lay down on the bed and felt peaceful. She would try to touch her husband's face, eyes, nose, and ears with her hand. Also, she would touch his shoulder and hand with her hand and kiss his foot with her foot. Then what is the final gift that has remained untouched? While the wife touches his sexual organ and the husband hers, the couple sleeps nestling next to each other. Is this happy or unhappy?
Very happy. So start touching. God is the supreme chemist, and he wants us to experience the greatest love in every cell of our body. Father talks about when couples make love, like 100 billion cells start jumping up and down at the same time. We've been endowed with powerful neurological responses that support love between husband and wife. Touching allows the body to override our brain, and it lets our hormones and our body chemistry that God designed to take over. So Mitzi, what would you do if, say it's bedtime and I've been I've been working so hard all day and I'm really tired and I don't feel like making love. But you may know that maybe you're thinking, well, it's been a while and it would be, it'd probably be good for both of us. What would you do?
I will ask him, David, are you tired? I say, are you tired? And then I do what father says. I'm touching his face and everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Till the end.
Okay. Yeah, touching can start out affectionately, maybe with a back rub, being playful or flirty. And let's see, do you notice any changes once you start touching?
Yeah, it's something start waking up.
Yeah. So do you feel that like that's your property down there?
Yes, it is. Definitely, it's mine. Mine
Okay.
only.
Good, good. Do you sometimes take a moment to admire your property?
Sometimes.
We need to do that. Before you know it, you're having sex, okay? And scientists have discovered that this sexual pleasure cycle is a biological reward system that acts as a bonding agent when a couple makes love. And the benefits of making love is more than just feeling good, more than just a quick high. Married couples who have sex twice a week are like 2 years younger than their biological counterparts that don't make love twice a week. And this is really a fountain of youth. So start getting out of your head by telling yourself, I am strong.
I am strong.
I am loving. All of my gray hairs and wrinkles have a beautiful story behind them. And all of my wife's or my husband's wrinkles and love handles have a beautiful story behind them. They're all well earned. We've found that how our body looks isn't so important for good sex. It's how I feel about my body and how I feel about my spouse's body that's really important. So if you're wondering, does my spouse still feel that I'm sexy? Well, you can ask them, okay? They likely don't see your body as in the same way as you do. Guys, you might want to try buying your wife some skimpy lingerie or sexy pajamas. Stop by Victoria's Secrets. I don't know if they have that over there, but and it really doesn't matter what kind you buy as long as it turns you on or it turns your husband or wife on. Okay, so let's see.
One of my friends told me this story. When they young, her husband bought 7 sexy pajamas. And so it was fine, but after children were born, they stopped having sex. For months goes by, a year goes by without. And then they took the Love and Integrity Core of Universe course, and they decided that they should try it because it's father's word and father's direction. So she got all this pajama out, and she said that she when they plan to make love, they prepare the bedroom, very beautiful flower and everything, and she put that pajama on. And their intimacy, their relationship had completely changed. She testified to me.
Story of the 7 sexy pajamas. She must have been keeping those in her hope chest all those years. So ladies, maybe it's something that doesn't turn you on at all, but it turns your husband on. And when he gets turned on, that turns you on. And the PJs, they can be some kind of code. So that when you're feeling in the mood, wife texts her husband, do you want me to put on my sexy pajamas tonight? My fuzzy PJs or whatever. So what does your husband or your wife do that sexually arouses you? And what do you do that sexually arouses him or her? The important thing to remember is that you can be old and wrinkly and overweight and still feel sexy, still be sexy. And you don't have to be sexy to the whole world, just for one person. And that's a lot easier. We'll find that sex makes us feel sexy too, right? Yeah, like after we make love, Mitzi might think, wow, I really got him going. I thought you were tired. Or I might be thinking, I still got the old magic, I still turn her on. Husbands, make it your goal, at least sometimes, to give your wife an orgasm. That's important. Many times, we in the church, we never had to attract our mate. We didn't propose, at least the first gen. Most first gen never proposed. Two parents matched us. And in the case of second gen, I know your parents matched you, or maybe you found your match. And many times second gen, they do propose. But often, even with second gen, we just expect our husband or wife to fulfill all their manly or womanly duties. There was one second gen couple that I spoke with, and the first night he was waiting for the first night, like he said he'd been waiting all his life for that. And they get to the first night place, and they get in bed, and he's expecting to make love, and she's not feeling it, and she said, she asked him, can you wait for me? And he said, well, like how long? And she asked, can you wait for 100 years? Oh, I feel sorry for that fellow. And they ended up making love the next morning, okay? But he didn't feel like he had to romance her. He just felt that, okay, it's time now. And that's not the way it is in the real world. So I'd like to share a short video with you. For those fluttering wings, guys, and we got to work on our moves a little bit, right? One thing that I found that really is important is date night. It's something that Mitzi and I have done for years. We've gone on dates. We try to do once a week. And there's another video of Lena and Christoph Yasutaki I'd like to share with you.
We had some small dates and we had some big dates. And I'm gonna just dive right into like the practical side. So I'm gonna pretend that you've all been completely persuaded that you're gonna date each other now. How do you do it, okay?
So that's a good point. How do you go out on these dates, and what's a good number? So especially if things are hard, we recommend once a week. We just were listening to the Burns talking about how they have the date scheduled once a month. And I was thinking once a month is a little bit low for what I think I need. But of course, your mileage may vary. And also, if you're already fully inflated, shall we say, then maybe you can get by with once a month. And it's true that there have been times when we got extra busy and we couldn't do it once a week. And then we start seeing how things starting to get harder, and then things start to deflate a little bit. So finding the right number and making sure you commit to a sustainable experience is very important for you.
Yeah.
But when things are hard, it's like a condition, right? Treat it seriously like a condition. Do it once a week to make sure that you reinflate and keep things, get them back up to snuff, shall we say.
Right. I mean, so you go to work every day if you are someone who has a traditional employment situation because you're earning for your family to feed them, to clothe them, to keep a house for them. Your family home that you create for your spouse and for your children is much more significant than your physical circumstances, right? So if you approach your marriage with the same dedication and serious attitude as you approach your professional life, as you approach your spiritual life, because it actually is a part of your spiritual life, right? Your relationship with your spouse, that's the relationship you're going to have in heaven. You know, 15 million years from now in spirit world, you're going to roll over. That's the guy. So investing in your relationship, not only is it investing in your spiritual commitment, right, your blessing, but you're also impacting your children and the couples around you. And I'll tell you 2 reasons why I know it's important to your kids. One of the couples in our community started going on a date because of our talk. And I found out not from the couple, but from their adult child. Their kid came to me and said, you know, my parents, they're going on a date. And they were so happy and so excited. Like, they took the time, young adult man, to come up to me, to find me in the community, be like, I just want you to know my parents are dating each other. And I thought, you know, I don't think that when they started going out, older blessed couple, that they would have anticipated what an inspiration, what a source of joy and delight that would be for their young adult son. And when our kids were really little, they're older now, they're all teenagers, but when our kids were really little, we had a play date, and our youngest was around 3, and her little friend was over, and they wanted to play with my jewelry, which I hang on a bulletin board because I have ADD, so if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. And it was all very tempting, and I said, no, that's mommy's jewelry. Here's all the dress-up jewelry that you can play with. And as I was walking away, I heard my daughter sort of like illustrate by pointing to all my beautiful jewelry. When you're married, your husband gives you chocolates and jewels and everything your heart desires. And I thought, what a beautiful impression she has of what our marriage is, right? It's true, most of my jewelry did come from her dad. And he does give me beautiful chocolates on Valentine's Day, and he takes me out on romantic dates. And one particularly stressful time for us time-wise, right? We were both working in the church, we were both working in our jobs, we were both really busy, and we hadn't gone on a date in a couple of weeks. And our kid, who was at this point 5, youngest, comes in with like a really nice dress, and she goes, Mommy, you need to get dressed up and you need to go out on a date. And like, when we first started dating, honestly, I felt a little bit guilty. Like, here we are going out and having a fun time. We're leaving our kids at home. Are they going to feel like neglected? But obviously they were having a great time, and it really meant a lot to them that we went on a date. And also we were nicer people when we came back from those dates. So it improved our whole family relationship. If you are not going out with each other at all, 0% of the time you go out on a date, and you start dating each other once a month, that is a big improvement, right? So obviously we advocate for once a week because it made the difference for us. But if you don't have time to go out once a week yet, if you're still testing our theory of how much this can make a difference in your relationship, going out once a month is great because it's 100% more than what you're doing now, right? So start where you can start. And the practical considerations of finances, time commitments, child care management, that is the stuff that we're going to go into.
Yes.
So big dates, small dates, cheap dates, free dates. Where we were in our finances was very low, as I mentioned, right? So we would have one fancy date a month. We would have one date that was a moderate date, you know, mid-level date, financially speaking. We would have one really cheap date and one completely free date. And we would take turns planning the date. So I would plan one, he would plan the next. I would plan one, he would plan the next. We're both oldest, and we're both a little bit competitive, maybe just a little. So especially if like the free date landed on my night, I'd be like, oh, let me show you what I can do with $0 and 0 cents, right? So it definitely became like a little bit of a one-upmanship, but in a great way, because it's all for the benefit of our marriage, right? So I came from a big family. I'm the oldest of 5, and my dad actually had 6 children with his first wife. So the young.
Okay, yeah, that was Christoph and Lena. They're part of the Blessed Marriage Project with High Noon. I love their analogy of comparing your marriage to your house, your physical house. And just like, you wouldn't let your house get run down. And what would, if your house was run down and the steps were falling apart and there was a hole in the roof, it was leaking during the rainstorms, you wouldn't let your house, I know, especially you folks in Europe, you would not let your your investments get in disrepair like that. Well, how much more precious is our blessing to work on and to maintain, even more than we would our home, our physical home. And I know also there's some concern about many couples will say, well, we don't have the finances to go out, and yeah, there's many different kinds of dates you can go on. You can make a picnic lunch and go on a free date, a free picnic. We were in Astoria about a few weeks ago, and we found we were just going to go there and like walk around town, and there was this trolley that was a waterfront trolley. It goes back and forth along the waterfront, and it's $1 to get on for all day. $1. So that was really a lot of fun. Yeah, and yeah, we had a great time. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go on date night, but date night is really important. It's like regular maintenance. You would bring your car in for regular maintenance. Especially nowadays, cars are really expensive and hard to replace. Well, this woman is very hard to replace, irreplaceable. So I want to be sure she doesn't run out of oil or anything. Okay, well, that's all that we have, Patrizia and Andy.
Thank you so much, actually. Thank you very, very much, David and Mitsue. I actually ask you back. Yeah, that's better. I can see you again. And there is one question that came. Are you ready to answer? I'm sure you are. It's quite a deep question, I have to say. I was just reading it and thinking. But yeah, just before asking you the question, I just wanted to thank you for what you have been sharing from the videos. They were really amazing. Our nature is expressing love, and also you gave many points. And what I felt and what I always feel when I'm in front of you guys is how natural you are in expressing love. And this is something that I always aim to myself in my own couple. And I think we should be like that, as natural as possible. We are all different, so we might express different kind of naturality. I don't know how to use this word, but anyway, I think as we are God's children, we can express this natural love wherever we are. People will eventually be really attracted to us and learn from God and from true parents and from us as well. And just one more point I want to stress is that I've been listening to 23 MMM so far, and I've been listening to many other presentation, marriage course and everything. And one point that always comes in, always, is dating. Mm-hmm. Find time for each other. And this, you've been stressing this a lot and in a beautiful way. And I hope everyone can really do that. I mean, there are many points. I wrote so many points that I really like. Okay, maybe one more is that we really should feel that we are God's daughter and God's son, and that we are just beautiful as we are. And this is such a beautiful point you spoke out. Anyway, coming to a question that I receive, it's this one. When making love, women experience it at the mental level. What should she think about, and how to invite God during this process? Big question.
That's to you. That's really to Mitsue.
That's mostly for Mitsue.
But before she answers, I would like to just comment that women are meant to experience love on more than the mental level. They are built to experience as great or even more intense orgasm than men. And a lot of times we men don't realize that because it's something that it's not part of our education. Okay, they don't educate it in school. Pornography doesn't educate how to do this. Our church doesn't educate how to do this. But there are a lot of good educational books and resources, or for younger people, you can speak with an older aunt or uncle, for men, how to bring your wife to orgasm. And I'll turn it over to Mitzvah.
So Father said that there are many women who go to spirit world without experiencing the joy of lovemaking, and that is men's fault. And I thought about that, and I don't really, I don't want to say I disagree with Father, but I think it's something to do with our mental focus, so much so that no matter what David does with my body, kissing, everything, if my mind is somewhere else, if my mind is thinking about my children, where they are at, or sometimes I'm arguing with the telephone call I got with, this spam people, and I'm arguing with, if my mind is not on that level that I really want to invite God, I don't have it. I don't get it. This orgasm thing is so much in my mind. And Father said, in the Father's speech, he said even the world is waiting for God to come down. And when God comes down is when husband and wife make love. And that's where the God come down, and God and people celebrate. That's why the world and seeing, they're looking forward to that moment. When I read the speech, I thought, I want to, I really want to celebrate that. With that mindset, I get to enjoy. And it takes a long time. I want the man to know it takes a long time. Be patient.
Do you always get an orgasm?
No, not always. I try my best, but no. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. It's perfectly okay. I just enjoy, like, skin touching.
And I think it's really important for both men and women to be present, be in the moment with your mate, the here and now. That's all there is. When Mitzi and I are making love, and I'm getting worked up, and she's starting to get worked up, and then she says, "David, did you call the insurance company?" And I just game over. Okay, well, again tomorrow.
Yeah, this happens, of course. I think because our brain is like Mark Gungor said, women's brain are all like full of thoughts, and we have so many emotions to deal with, and so many thoughts. Yeah. And how to invite God during this process. This was the second part of this question. Maybe can you just reveal us something more about this point. Actually, I had few second gen asking me that question. And yeah, but I leave it to you, of course.
Excellent. And I'm sure that you can advise them very well, Patrizia, how to invite God into our marriage, into our lovemaking. It's excellent. The people that are asking that is like the first thing to really be desiring God to be part of this moment in your life. And definitely Core of the Universe, it has a lot of great content for that. Father speaks so much about inviting God into your relationship. And he says that without conjugal husband-wife sexual relationship, you cannot have a full relationship with our Heavenly Parent. So that's like how important Father believes that sexual intimacy is in connecting with God. But yeah, we sometimes we pray before. We always pray before we go to bed, and we ask Heavenly Parent to come down and I'll if I'm praying and I ask God to come down and I look over at open one eye and look over at Mitsue, then a lot of times she'll be giggling, but we do really feel that Heavenly Parent is with us and wants to participate. Yeah, in the Core of the Universe book, it talks about like God's wedding. God's wedding. It was originally intended when Adam and Eve made love the first time. That would be God's wedding, and God would be able to participate in that. So really, yeah, I guess sometimes just because of our influence from the fallen secular world of immorality, we don't think of God as being present so much in the marriage bed, in our sexual relationship.
I see.
But really,
there is one more question, and time is flying, so I'm just gonna formulate this question, and then we can go to the 5 minutes break and our groups discussion. The question goes like this: is it an idea to find alternative words for sex and orgasm? These words have been there and done for so long. For example, love creating instead of sex.
What was the suggestion?
I think the question, I don't know exactly, but the question looks to me, shall we change the name of, we identify sex and orgasm maybe with what we always knew from the past, to change these words in love creating instead of sex?
Oh, lovemaking. We use alternatively lovemaking and sex, making love and sex. We interchange those, and I think either one is fine. Orgasm, that is a scientific terminology. We do use, sometimes, like in speaking about the sexual organ, we'll use penis and vagina, the terminology for that, or the sexual organ, like Father uses. We don't use the slang terminology, but I think scientific terminology or lovemaking is perfectly fine. I think we have to be comfortable with reclaiming these words that Satan has stolen.
I think Father said the joy of lovemaking, orgasm.
Yeah.
Like love and joy of lovemaking that women have to experience before we got spiritual. I think that is orgasm. So joy, maybe no. Joy of lovemaking.
Joy of lovemaking sounds good. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much. So I think now is time for the groups, right, Andy? Are the groups ready? Yeah, you're nodding with your head. It's fantastic. So we are gonna have, just before the 5 minutes break, I'm gonna read for you the questions that we prepare for this session. And as usual, we introduce ourselves when we are meeting as a small group. We go through the age, the year of blessing, country of residence. The second question is, what do you do to create a romantic atmosphere for your spouse? And the third question, why do you think we feel ashamed about sex? And fourth, what does True Father's revelation of the sexual organs as the core of the universe make you think or feel? These are, to me, very important questions we can discuss in our groups. And now I just wish you a wonderful 5 minutes break. Please just stretch your legs, grab something to drink, and come back for a group discussion. And you will see the questions written in the chat, as well as on your WhatsApp number, MMM WhatsApp. Thank you. See you soon. So, thank you for being back here. And I'm so happy about the group discussion. We were talking about many points and even dating. What is dating exactly? So I'm very curious to know more. We are back and we have some questions still for our guest. Do we still have time? I just see Andy there to ask. I ask you 2 minutes. Oh, wow. 2 questions on 2 minutes. Okay, anyway. First question is where can we find those books that you talk about before? I mean, you say that there are lots of literature talking about sexuality, and also I suppose you are talking about this wonderful masterpiece here, which I really like. So where? And open as much as we can. God is here listening to our talk and guiding all of us, I hope. So where do we find these books? Where do we find your book? I got it as a present, so I don't know where to buy it. Thank you, by the way, to send it to me. And is there an electronic version of the book, The Core of the Universe? This is another question.
Okay, well, you can find this book on Amazon in English, and it has recently been published in French also. I'm not sure if it's on Amazon yet or not. It's just been finished. We published it we translated it into Korean, eight languages: Korean, Japanese, French, Russian, Spanish, Portuguese, Thai, and Chinese.
No Italian.
Not Italian, sorry.
It's our job there then.
But yeah, I'm not sure if French is on French Amazon yet or not. But if not, it will be on there shortly. Mm-hmm. And I think that there is a Kindle version available
in English.
And I noticed a question: who is the author of the book? Well, the book was written by the High Noon team, myself and Mitsue, Robert Cunningham, and Poppy Ritchie. And it was Heather Tallheimer helped with editing in Yenhua. So it was a team effort. It's got so much of Father's words in it and Mother's words too, but mostly Father spoke about, he was passionate to speak about sexuality this theme that is it brings so much hurt and trauma in our lives. It can bring so much freedom and joy. So Father was so wise in speaking about this thing. He didn't have to speak about sex. He could have been a great spiritual leader without it, but he knew that that we need to talk about this subject in order to become radiant couples, radiant Changyil good couples. So
yeah, I really like this expression of being a radiant couple and manifest what is inside of us as a couple. Yeah, wonderful. So about the other literature that you were talking about, maybe will you be able to send us a list, suggestion of books to read for 2nd gen or 1st gen? This would be wonderful. If you can, if we don't ask too much.
Certainly, yeah, we can do that.
Thank you so much. And so there are some couple exercises. Do you share the slide, Andy? If there are no more questions, you can do it by yourself as a couple. So that I was actually asking the first question here before to you guys, but yeah, everybody can just read these questions and couple exercise, ask to each other, what does your partner do that is arousing to you? How does making love with your spouse benefit your life? And how has your need for intimacy changed through your life? And how is it now? So this is actually very important to consider. Yeah, I have to think they are really, really intense questions. You can find those questions in the WhatsApp chat, and you will also find them on your future emails from us. And we have a WhatsApp group. Please join. Yeah, we have this WhatsApp chat. Sorry, please try to join this group. You will have the link through your email, and you can just click on the link and you will be part of the group. And in the group, we will have a lot of information. And usually we put the link of each event. Other things that are part of the announcement are next event. Next event is going to be on the 16th of July, 2022. It's going to be a try from us, from our MMM team. We are not such a big team, so we have a big aim. It's going to be an event related to healing, and there are 3 people talking the whole afternoon. It's going to be a Saturday, July 16, 2022, from 2:30 till 6 o'clock in the evening set time. And you can see also the Moscow time, as I'm not wrong. And this event will relate to how to become a crystal, exactly like True Mother is saying recently, and Hilde Whitman will be the main speaker on this topic. Then my husband Franz Kerschbermeier will talk about emotion code and body code, since this is job since many years actually. And then our dear brother Kurt Sattelberger. I just realized they're all Austrian, even though they live in different countries. But Kurt Sattelberger is talking about erasing traces of fallen history using original energy code. So we just give you the appointment there on the 16th of July. Please just feel free to come and to invite other blessed couples and other people that might be interested, people that are connected to our movement, because we will directly talk about parents as well. Yeah, feedback. Okay, so we come to a conclusion almost, and this is the link that Andy is putting also on the chat. And we really, really, really ask you to send us feedback, because feedbacks are so important for our team. We really care for them. We really want to apply what you are suggesting. So it's wonderful if you can send them. And we are waiting for that. Just click. You use 2 minutes, and it's a good use for us. Thanks a lot. Then, yeah, we wanted to actually conclude this beautiful evening with so much gratitude toward our guests, asking them to close the evening with a prayer. And if any one of you wants to join back the group discussion, you can actually go back for other 10, 20 minutes while we conclude completely the evening. Thanks again, and I give the mic to David and Mitsue for a final prayer.
Hey, thank you, Patrizia, and thank you for the 3M team that put this on, and we really appreciate so much you inviting us here to share this time with you. Please join us in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent, we are so grateful to be, we are honored to be blessed couples here, sharing with one another about our journey in the blessing. And Heavenly Parent, this is the way that we come to develop our character, and the way we reach perfection, the way we come into the kingdom of heaven. Father, it is full of challenges and sometimes difficulties and trials and pain, and it's also full of joy and victories and accomplishments and so many wonderful heights that we never imagined ascending to. Heavenly Parent, thank you for the chance to be sharing with other brothers and sisters, and many of us here celebrating our blessing very soon. We're just so grateful to our two parents for giving us this wonderful blessing and giving us this wonderful journey to go on. It is so much different than our lives as single people, and we have a partner to go through life with, and we have someone who loves us unconditionally, someone who we can love unconditionally, and grow together with. So we thank you. We offer you this prayer in the name of the Wolfenberger Blessed Center family. Adieu.
It's necessary, I guess, to say happy anniversary to all of you, and send a big heart to everyone. So if you are celebrating your blessing anniversary, please just put a heart on your chat, and so we can see how many are actually celebrating this blessing anniversary. I don't know if you understood. Okay, great. I can see some hearts coming. That's wonderful. Happy anniversary, everyone. And yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see that. Thank you for being here tonight. And I wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful evening. And please come back to our MMM if you felt good enough. You can invite other people to be part of this program, and we can expand it as much as we can. Thank you so much. Thank you, David and Mitsue. Let's meet again. And yeah, all the best.
Thank you.
Did I miss anything? Everything? Okay. Okay, thanks. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.